proposal before us. You know, I have also heard back from a lot of my constituents, and goodness knows I have quite a few people in my district that are going to be paying this. But the correspondences I'm getting from constituents are, please don't cut my access to Medicare. Please don't make my kids sit in unsafe schools in too big of classes where they can't get the support they need, the extra tutoring in math, the extra support that they need for literacy. You know, we have a lot of people in this state that are living on the margins, and I'll tell you about a good friend of mine. As we have faced wave after wave of cuts coming from the federal government, basic supports for vulnerable people in our communities, Mr. President. I have someone in my life that is contemplating homelessness because she can't afford the over-the-counter medicine that used to be provided. And what I want us to keep at the forefront as we are thinking about Washingtonians and what they need and who we are here to represent, Mr. President, I think about my dear friend who has been living on the margins for so very long. We need to make sure that as inflation rises, that as the cost of providing teachers and public servants at all of our state agencies continues to rise, we are meeting this moment with a revenue source that is going to keep pace with that. Because, Mr. President, $1 billion is a lot. I would venture to say there are very few staffers in our offices right now that have made it to 1 billion seconds. It takes about 32 years to have been alive on planet Earth to reach 1 billion seconds. We are talking about more money than some people could spend in 10 lifetimes. And what we're doing it for is the greatest good. Because, Mr. President, the things that we invested in our communities, the ability for our kids to go to quality public schools, the ability for everyone in Washington state to access medical care and the resources that they need, to have food security, these are the things that make us strong. These are the things that make our economy strong. And additionally, Mr. President, one of the things that I find to be most troubling, and this is true no matter what side of the aisle you sit on, the federal government is a fair weather friend. When we have our friend in the White House, we're excited about it. We hope that money flows our way. When my colleagues across the aisle have someone that they like in the Oval Office, we hope that the funds get directed those ways. But what we saw this administration, Mr. President, was such a dramatic reduction in basic services for people that what that showed me is that we need to be a resilient Washington. Where I was going with that is that we want to ensure that our revenue sources are sustainable, that they are looking into the future so that we can support our schools and our medical system well into the future, regardless of what we have going on in the other Washington. And I urge this body's support.
Further remarks, Senator Benke.